What is going on, YouTube? I wanted to do a video today talking about why it is starting to become a bad time to be a video game collector. Specifically talking more about modern age gaming and how the process has been switching over to digital. Now, so for some people this will be a great thing, because that means that their collections are going to overall increase in value. And there's going to be more stuff going out into the market, because a lot of people, myself for example too, have been switching over to a lot of digital stuff. So I've talked about in the past about my game collecting addiction and some of that stuff, where I've actually just gone out of my way to buy games that I don't even want to play, and just, crap like that. Well, recently I've been selling a lot of the stuff, and using the money for stuff that's better, projects on my house, stuff for my kids, stuff like that. But it's becoming crazy now, because I recently did a video about how the new Alan Wake game is going to be, it's going to be digital only, guys. You can only buy the game digitally. They're not making a physical copy at all, and they're trying to pull some bullcrap saying that they're going to drop the price down. They kind of account for that, not to try and piss the fans off, but guess what, guys? A lot of the fans are already pissed. So this video is just talking more about how the digital era is affecting collectors as a whole, and 2023 is becoming insane. The game hunting is becoming a halt in my area. I have to actively seek people out now. It used to be I could just scour Facebook, garage sales and stuff like that, but now I have to actually almost do like an episode of Game Chasers and go door to door asking people if they have video games. But like I've said a few minutes ago, I've refrained from buying video games unless it's a game I actually want, because I don't need all that extra stuff. I don't need all that stuff taking up places that I don't have. So how is this affecting other people as a whole? It's really the collectors themselves that are going for just collecting games in general. They're going to run into an issue here pretty soon. It's going to, I guess it's not going to be as soon as you think, but they're not going to be making video games physically anymore. I give it a couple years and all games will just be transferred over to making digital copies. And honestly, you might have companies like Limited Run and stuff like that that are going to make copies of the physical game. But if they do, they're going to charge you twice of what they're worth. So how does this affect you as a whole? Also with gaming, they can control how much they're going to charge for digital games, guys. It doesn't have to be the flat rate going out anymore. They can actually charge whatever they want. And guess what? You have to pay that if you want to play the game. So Alan Wake could go for $45 or whatever now. But granted, down the road, Zelda games could come out for $100, because Nintendo's like, they're going to buy the new Zelda game. They got to get it digitally. Let's charge $100. So a couple other things too that's going on with the collecting world is you have websites popping up. Now, granted, DKOldies and them have been, and Luki Gaming have been around for a while now. But there is similar websites popping up. There is gaming stores that are running YouTube channels now. They are doing other stuff like Retro Rick and Double Jump Games, I actually like those guys. But a lot of these stores are popping up all over the place now, these gaming stores, and they are, hoping that you bring in all your old stuff and trade it in, and then they're going to mark it up to retail prices, and they're going to sell it for retail costs and stuff like that. Now, I know some places are better than others, and I can't say, all stores are the same. I've never been to Retro Rick store. I've never been to, Double Jump Games store. From what I see on the website, Double Jump Games actually does really good pricing. So and I love their YouTube channel, so I'll give them that. But a lot of the other places too that I hear, not so good stuff about. Like, I don't personally know Phoenix Resale, but I hear a lot of bad things about him. Personally, just stuff that he does off of the sides that, like I said, I don't know. This is just rumors, but that's what I hear. So these guys are going to be getting these games now. These old collectors are tired of this. They're moving to the digital area. You have RGT85, who sold his whole collection to Phoenix Resale, and now he's kind of switching over the emulation route. And I decided to do this too, but only for a certain extent. I wanted to keep a lot of the games that I'm connected with, because we talked about addiction and video gaming, and I wanted to keep a lot of these conversations real about how I actually feel about this stuff, and it was just overwhelming, guys, having all these games and stuff. And now I'm working on clearing some of it out, so that way I can just have the games I want to play, guys. I might even be getting rid of the arcade one-up cabinets just because they're purely here for decoration at this moment and not gaming purposes themselves. So how does that affect other people? Somebody might get a good deal on some of this stuff, guys. Now, a lot of people know that I have anxiety when it comes to stuff like this. When I sell stuff, I like to sell them for cheap prices because, yeah, I'm a people pleaser, guys. I guess that's the way it is. I like to please people, so I like to give people good deals. This affects me for the most part, but in all honesty, a lot of this stuff I got for great prices to begin with. So even if I offer people amazing deals to fill their collections up, it's okay because I pretty much made my money back. And there's a lot of people out there like me that are doing this now because they're either getting out of the hobby or they're just tired of it, or they spend all their money and now they have to get it back. They got bills that piling up. They got stuff going on. We just had to drop about $400 or $500 on paint and stuff and do-it-yourself stuff for fixing our basement, another room in the basement, because the walls needed to be covered back up. They've been getting saturated and stuff with moisture from the outside, so we had to put a bunch of stuff on to stop that so it doesn't further corrode the house. Now, there's people out there just like me that are running into issues like that, and they have to sell stuff off. But I just don't, the biggest thing I see is with the digital era coming, a lot of these people that just like to collect video games are going to run into issues, guys. Yeah, it's just, there's all these excuses coming around. I know a big one that's popping up is, and a subscriber mentioned it, is that they have so many people working on these video games. The video games themselves are becoming so big they hardly fit on the disc. It's only a matter of times before, discs become irrelevant. It's just going to be how the carts kind of went out and then discs came in, and then pretty soon the digital era will be here. It's discouraging, to say the least. Growing up knowing that I have all these games, my kids growing up now and having these games, and they just won't be there. But I guess that's kind of good for them because, ignorance is bliss. They won't know the coolness about having it in your hand, the manuals themselves, the cases, the drive home where you just sit there and you just absorb all the information you can about this video game while you wait to get home to pop it in. Now it's just going to be download it, get it queued into your list, and then go do something and come back a little bit later and play it. And then now only have like 4 or 5, some of these games are getting huge, guys, and only having 5 or 6 of these games on your hard drive because they just take it all up. I think I recently finally got Modern Warfare, and after about 150 gigs worth of downloading and stuff, it already took up a lot of my PS5, and that's like, wow. But I have seen a lot of collectors too loving this now because, like I said, you have a lot of us guys getting rid of our stuff, and they are able to absorb a lot of it. They're able to take up a lot of the stuff, and then that just further builds their collection. But each person has their own opinions on this. I know a lot of people are absolutely gatekeeping or whatever on the physical era. They say that physical is best. Digital era people, or people that just play stuff digitally, are stupid. And I try not to label too much around on this channel, but everybody has their own opinions, and I am, quite frankly, as Thanos would say it, perfectly balanced. I like digital stuff and I like the physical stuff. Now the physical stuff really just relates more to me coming into my game room, looking at all my stuff and just reliving nostalgia from being a kid and wishing that a lot of the stuff I have now that I wish I had then. And healing part of my inner childhood by seeing some of that stuff now that I knew I could never have as a kid. Having 20 different consoles, even a Dreamcast, a Super Nintendo. Like, I didn't have a Super Nintendo growing up. We had the cheap consoles. So I got a Genesis when the Super Nintendos came out because the Genesis dropped down in price to try and compete with the Super Nintendos. all my friends got Super Nintendos. I got a Genesis. So now I have all these consoles and games and stuff that I wish I had growing up, and I get to play them now, and I get to have them in my collection, which is awesome. But I ran into the issue then of having too much stuff and not enough room. So I have, like, you know, I even have them sitting up here on display. But I have a mini SNES right now with a bunch of games on there that I put on there. I have my mini Nintendo right here that I put a bunch of games on. I have, you know, the PlayStation Classic that I put a bunch of games on. I did all this stuff so I can enjoy these games. And my RetroPie off to the side here, I'm not going to show you guys that, but that is what I've been playing with too, because what's the point of, you know, spending 20 minutes trying to hook up a SNES or hook up a Nintendo or something like that and to play Double Dragon, or, you know, something quick like that, Streets of Rage, when I can just I got my RetroPie hooked up to my PC, hit the on buttons, and then bam, we're ready to go, guys. So I know people will gatekeep on this, and that is in their mind their own opinion. I've had a few subscribers that have actively ranted about why they think the digital era is stupid, and, you know, for the most part, I agree with you guys. You do make a lot of good points, but there's mixed feelings here about it. So I think that 2023 is going to go a little crazy. I know when Alan Wake finally does release, it's going to be insane. But I think by then people are going to be a little on the end, because I think it's going to start announcing more and more that there's going to be more and more games coming this way. I think somebody even said that there was mention that the Metal Gear Solid remake, Snake Eater remake, might be digital only. And they asked me, would you get it then? And yes, I would. And from a new perspective in my collecting addiction and my collectingness and stuff like that, I specifically will buy it because I love the series, I love the franchise, and I just want to play it. Am I the bad guy here, or am I the people that everybody's talking about and stuff like that? I guess so, but that is, in my state, my own opinion. And I want to focus on 2023 and on to go back to playing the games instead of buying them and just letting them sit there. So I just going to end the video talking about that right here, guys. I really enjoyed doing these, talking about how I feel about this stuff, and I love reading your guys' responses. So make sure you comment, even if it's negative, positive, whatever below. I enjoy reading your comments, and I enjoy trying to comment or reply to each one of them and actually having a conversation and not just a generic response like thank you or yes. I try to interact with my subscribers as much as I can. Granted, I have 3 kids and stuff like that, so I always enjoy getting comments, guys. So please make sure you comment below. I'm not just saying that to try and boost me on an algorithm or something. I really do enjoy just hearing from you guys. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, stay retro, my friends, and I will see you in the next video.